These are 4 movements that you can do to help support or restore your pelvic floor. You can do these pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy, or postpartum. They're all very gentle yet effective. All you need is a set of dumbbells, either 5 pounds or 10 pounds, and then just your body weight. These are the movements that I've been using personally to support my pelvic floor during this pregnancy. This is my 2nd time around, and I've found it just really effective. So these are the 4 movements that we're going to be doing, but I'm going to break them down and how to do them exactly, because if you don't do them right, you're not going to get the right results. I also want to add that some people have a loose pelvic floor and that is causing their issues. Other people have a tight pelvic floor, which a tight pelvic floor can just be a weak pelvic floor in a different type of form. These workouts will support both of those cases, but if you have an overly tight pelvic floor, then I definitely recommend watching my video on breath work to help naturally relax and restore balance to that area. And I would combine doing that breath work daily with these workouts. These workouts that we're about to get into should be done at least 3 times a week. Grab either 5 or 10 pound dumbbells and then come to the wall. You're going to shimmy down until your low back hits the wall, and then you'll come up just slightly so there's a tiny space in between your low back and the wall. Then you'll hold your dumbbells in front of you like this, as if you're holding a tray. You don't want to come out to the sides like this. They should be directly in front of you. Engage your abs by drawing your belly button towards your spine and tucking your rib cage down. Once you tuck your rib cage down, your back will want to round, so it's important to then lift your chest towards the ceiling, contracting the upper back. It should make it so your abs and upper back are kind of fighting each other. Lastly, you do want your traps just above your shoulders to be slightly elevated towards your ears. Make sure you're tucking your chin like a double chin, like you see me doing, and think about a string drawing your head towards the ceiling. Once you have all these parts activated, you're going to hold for 30 seconds and breathe into your rib cage out to the sides. As you hold this movement, it's important to continuously check in to make sure your upper back is staying engaged with your chest puffed out, but that your abs are also staying engaged. It can be easy to slowly start rounding at the shoulders, so stay strong in that upper back. Why this movement is important is it trains your upper back to stay upright while you're walking, standing, and sitting. This takes pressure off of your pelvic floor, because if your upper back is always rounded forward, it starts to compress everything downward in the abdomen, which then compresses down into the pelvic floor, creating unnecessary pressure. Going into our next movement, come onto your back on the floor, then bend your knees and lift your legs up. If you're pregnant, you may need to create wider legs to create space for your belly. Then make sure your low back and upper back stay against the floor. As you move your legs back and forth, like you see me demonstrating here, your legs will want to pull your core to be disengaged, which then will create an arch in your low back. You will no longer feel your low back against the ground. So it's important to really keep your abs engaged and feeling your low back on the ground as you move your legs back and forth like this. You also want to make sure that you're not rounding forward in your shoulders, that your upper back is staying engaged too. This will help create additional work for your core, creating a stronger core, supporting the pelvic floor. Going into our third movement, we're going to do a plank that encourages proper posture in our upper back and our core, which of course then supports the pelvic floor. Do this on your knees and elbows because it is quite challenging. Engage your deep core by drawing your belly button to your spine and then tucking your tailbone under. Make sure your hips are parallel with your shoulders and your butt isn't higher than your shoulders. As you tuck and engage your core, your upper back may want to round like this. So it's really important to puff your chest outwards to then lengthen your spine. But then it may make your abs want to lose engagement. So it's really important to check in back and forth constantly. Engage your abs, lengthen your spine by puffing your chest, and think about your
ribs going out to the sides. Use a mirror or your phone like I'm doing to check in, making sure your back is fairly straight, that you're not creating a dip in your low back with no ab engagement, and that you're not creating an overly rounded upper back. Hold for 15 to 30 seconds, and as you grow stronger, you can increase the time if you'd like. Going into our fourth and final movement, we're going to activate our glutes. Lie on your back near a wall and then place your feet on the wall with your knees at a 90-degree angle. You'll then lift your hips off the ground to start engaging your glutes. Make sure you don't lift overly high like this, but pick something that's a little more neutral. You'll want to make sure your upper back is flat against the ground without rounded shoulders. Make sure your abs are drawn towards your spine. And then you're going to activate your glutes by imagining that you're dragging your heels down towards the ground, but your feet are not going to move at all. Continuing to keep your chest open, your abs engaged, and your glutes firing. You'll hold this for about 30 seconds. Glutes are the bottom layer that helps support the pelvic floor. As you may have noticed with these movements, we're targeting the upper back, deep core, and glutes. It creates the perfect triangle that helps support strong posture and takes all the pressure off your pelvic floor. Make sure to follow the sets and reps of each of these movements and then repeat 3 times a week. I hope these movements support you as much as they've been supporting me. Thanks for watching.